Let me add my voice to the eloquent and powerful remarks made by our majority leader and the senator from New York, who have rightly deemed this House proposal really an obstacle, indeed an obstructionist move designed to perpetuate, not end, the shutdown and to block, not enable our efforts to reach a bipartisan compromise that would allow America to continue paying its bills on time. Those two goals, ending the shutdown, enabling America to pay its bills on time, are the predominant objectives that we must have as a bipartisan effort goes forward here in the Senate. And this House proposal is doomed to failure. And it would be a failure not just for the legislative process, not for the political actors here, but a failure for America. And I'm reminded of the remarks so well made more than 10 days ago by the majority leader about one aspect of the effects of this shutdown on an industry very important to his state of Nevada, very important to the presiding officer's state of Hawaii, the tourism, lodging, and hotel industry. That impact is devastating. In fact, I've heard this morning from staff and employees of the Starwood Hotels based in Stamford, Connecticut, who have written to members of Congress like myself, and I'm their senator, so naturally they've written to me, about the effect they see to their company and others like theirs in this industry. Hotel and tourism is vital to the state of Connecticut. In fact, we invest constructively and positively in promoting our state's tourism industry. And their plea to me, and I'm going to just read from a letter written by Amy Kilbury, who's the Associate Director, IT Finance at Starwood Hotels and Resorts Worldwide. The current impasse, now in its third week, is having a negative impact both on the economy in general and specifically on the travel and tourism industry, which depends on the confidence of business and individuals on the future stability of the economy. The shutdown is having ripple effects as federal agencies have reduced their operations. So have private government contractors, and in turn, this is affecting both leisure and business travel. I'm going to ask, if there's no objection, that this letter be entered in the record along with the letter that has been written by the Hotel and Lodging Association.
Without objection.
And to say, Mr. President, that these Starwood employees are writing to their senators and members of Congress because they see firsthand the effects on their livelihood and their lives. Those stories that were recounted earlier by my colleague from Connecticut and that yesterday I recited on the floor are real effects in the lives of real people. Negative and painful, indeed devastating effects on people who depend on the economic flow of certain and stable work by the government and by the contractors and small businesses and large businesses like Starwood that are affected. There's no question that the future health of the American economy depends on the policies that we need to adopt and advance to sustain economic growth, indeed to make it more robust, to preserve job creation, in fact, heighten and enhance it, and to make sure that these employees of Starwood are well served, not impeded by the government that they support and elect. They support it with their taxes. They elect it with their votes. We have an obligation to them to do better than we have. And I was deeply moved by the story recounted by Senator Durbin just a short time ago on the floor about a young Iraq veteran severely wounded, a more severe wound than the ones I recounted yesterday, but he is a veteran like the individuals whose stories I told yesterday. They deserve better from our government. Indeed, they deserve an end to the kind of obstructionism that we saw just a short time ago on the other side of this Congress, the other branch of this legislative body. From members of the House of Representatives who know that the proposal they're making has no chance of adoption by the deadline that we need to meet to make sure that the greatest nation in the history of the world avoids default and continues to pay its bills on time. The head of the association that represents Starwood, Catherine Lugar, who is the CEO of the Lodging and Hotel Association, said, "Hotels are a major economic driver and job creator across the country, and the industry's ability to continue its growth is hamstrung by inaction from our policy members." And I'm quoting, "The administration, House of Representatives, and Senate need to act swiftly in the best interests of the entire nation and end this shutdown. End this shutdown. Pay our bills on time." That has been the objective of my colleagues on this side of the aisle and on the other side, like Senator McCain, who has just come to the floor. That bipartisan effort has to be our objective. We need to do better for the American people and meet the obligation that we have now as the chairman of the subcommittee that has jurisdiction over the hotel and lodging industry on the Commerce Committee. I'm very proud to hear their telling us about how states like Arizona and Hawaii and Nevada, as well as Connecticut, are losing millions of dollars every day in economic activity. In fact, the Weir Farm National Historic Site in Connecticut are harmed and hurt, along with the Grand Canyon and all of the communities and industries that are associated with it. These issues are real and tangible. The harm is now and urgent, and I urge my colleagues to come together and resist the pressures and demonstrate the kinds of profiles and courage that we've seen on both sides of the aisle, standing strong, speaking out, resisting partisanship, coming together for the good of the country